Rain hits the pavement. Gunshots echo through a narrow hallway. A man walks forward, calm, precise, unstoppable. Bodies fall, one after another. No hesitation, no anger on his face. Only focus. Someone whispers a name. John Wick. A man once feared by the entire underworld has returned. Rain hits the pavement. Gunshots echo through a narrow hallway. A man walks forward, calm, precise, unstoppable. Bodies fall, one after another. No hesitation, no anger on his face. Only focus. Someone whispers a name. John Wick. A man once feared by the entire underworld has returned. But this story isn't about revenge. It's about something deeper, something psychological. Because in the world of assassins, manipulation is the real weapon. And the one man who mastered breaking it was John Wick. Pause the chaos. Look closely at the room. Crime bosses watching from shadows. Assassins waiting for orders. Every conversation a trap. In the criminal society shown throughout the John Wick series, power is rarely about guns first. For a woman named Helen, but power structures don't like losing their best weapon, because when someone becomes valuable, the system tries to control them. This is where manipulation begins. Loyalty, debt, fear. The high table's entire system depends on psychological pressure, markers, obligations, and unbreakable rules that bind assassins together. In John Wick, Chapter 2, Wick is forced back into the world through a blood marker claimed by Santino D'Antonio, a symbol of debt, a contract he cannot refuse. That's manipulation at its purest form, not violence, obligation. Psychologists describe this as reciprocity pressure, when a person feels compelled to return a favor or honor a debt, even if it harms them. The criminal world uses it perfectly, but John Wick sees the trap. Psychologists describe this as reciprocity pressure, when a person feels compelled to return a favor or honor a debt, even if it harms them. The criminal world uses it perfectly, but John Wick sees the trap. He knows the system, he knows the psychology, and that awareness is what makes him dangerous, because manipulators rely on one thing: emotional reaction, panic, fear. But Wick rarely reacts emotionally in the moment. Watch how he moves. Calm breathing, precise timing, minimal words. Even enemies notice it. In the John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum, the entire underworld turns against him after he breaks the rules of the Continental. A $14 million bounty appears on his head. Assassins from across the world begin hunting him. New York City becomes a battlefield. Yet Wick does something strange. He slows down. This is exactly how people break manipulation in real life, because manipulation works through speed and emotion. Decide now, react now, fear now. But disciplined minds pause, and that pause destroys the manipulator's advantage. Look at Wick in moments of extreme pressure, surrounded, outnumbered, yet still calculating. The character's psychological structure has even been analyzed using classical personality theory. Studies examining the character describe his internal conflict through the Freudian model of id, ego, and superego, his rage, logic, and moral code constantly balancing each other. That balance keeps him from losing control, because losing control is exactly what manipulators want. But even John Wick has weaknesses: grief, loss, love. When Helen dies, his world collapses, and the final gift she leaves him, a puppy, hope. Then that hope is destroyed in a single brutal night. The death of the dog is not just a plot device, it is psychological collapse, a moment where pain shatters restraint, and the world sees something terrifying. The man they thought was gone was only sleeping. But even in revenge, Wick follows rules, a code, because manipulation often begins when people abandon their principles, when anger replaces discipline. Wick never loses that discipline completely, which is why he survives a system designed to control everyone. By the time the story reaches John Wick, Chapter 4, the high table believes they finally have control. They manipulate the rules again. They force a duel. They try to turn tradition into another trap. But Wick plays the game differently. He understands the system better than the people who created it. And when you understand the system, manipulation stops working. That is the real lesson hidden inside the story. Because manipulation only works on people who react blindly, people who rush decisions, people who let emotion control their actions. But the moment you become aware, the moment you pause, observe, and think, the power shifts. Just like it does for John Wick, the assassin who survived an entire world trying to control him. Not because he was the strongest, not because he had the best weapons, but because his mind stayed calm when everyone else lost theirs. And that's the truth most people miss. Breaking manipulation is not about fighting people. It's about mastering yourself. Control your reactions. Control your emotions. Control your decisions. And suddenly, the traps become visible. The pressure disappears. And the game that once controlled you can no longer touch you.